So welcome together as we gather for a session on healing from narcissistic abuse, reclaiming your power and self-worth. Let's begin with this meditation to ground ourselves, set the stage for your personal growth and healing. So just find a comfortable position that allows you to feel safe and stable and relaxed. You may close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And just see if you can bring awareness to be in the present moment. Take a deep breath into your chest and then exhale from your mouth. So take another deep breath, filling in your lungs with fresh air, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension or stress you may be carrying. One more time, inhale deep and then exhale slowly. As you continue to breathe deeply, turn your attention to your body now. Notice any areas, just do a scan from top of your head up to your toes, and notice any areas where you might feel tightness or discomfort. Normally these are areas where you might feel any kind of discomfort or tightness. These sensations are messages from your parts that may feel overwhelmed or pressurized. Just greet them with kindness, curiosity, and acknowledgement that they are here to protect you without any judgment. Take a deep breath in, and with every exhale, envision sending a gentle, soothing light to those sensations or areas. Creating space for new possibilities. As you continue this mindful breathing, let yourself be present with your thoughts and your feelings. And notice any emotions that may arise. Gently allow them to be without trying to change them. This is a time to simply honor your experience and cultivate a sense of peace within. As we proceed with today's session, we aim to explore and understand the pressures that challenge us, to cultivate strategies that enhance ability to thrive. Let's maintain an open heart and mind as we embark on this journey of reclaiming your power and self-worth. Slowly bring your awareness back into the present moment. Wriggle your fingers, toes, stretch if you need to, and when you're ready, just kindly open your eyes, carrying the sense of self-love and acceptance within you. So the topic today is healing from narcissistic abuse, reclaiming your power and self-worth. So what we'll do is we'll take about 20 minutes to get into understanding about narcissistic abuse, the psychological effects, and then we'll go into what could be practical steps to healing and recovery, and then we'll start to prepare you for an IFS session. Then you will do a little bit of self-reflection so that you're ready, and then we'll get, after 20 minutes of this initial work, we'll get into an IFS session specifically designed for this purpose, and then we will follow it up with the sound healing if you have time. Hopefully we would, and at the end of the hour we will then get into Q&A, open Q&A, where if you have any questions, we'll stay for an hour and a half to have your questions or anything that comes up addressed. So you can let your parts know that if something comes up, they can always come back and have a clarification. Okay, so let's get into what is narcissistic abuse, okay? So from a definition point of view, it's a form of emotional abuse inflicted by individuals with some kind of what they call narcissistic traits, or there's even a term called narcissist personality disorder. Now, it involves various manipulative behaviors that are aimed on controlling, on belittling, and dominating. Now, some of the key characteristics are gaslighting. So this is a tactic where the perpetrator makes the person question their reality, their memory or perceptions. For example, a narcissist partner might deny saying something hurtful, insisting it never happened. And that leads to the person to doubt their memory and sanity. Manipulation, narcissists often use deceit and manipulation to maintain control. They might twist facts, play mind games, or shift blame to create confusion and guilt. For instance, a narcissist might accuse their partner of being overtly sensitive or irrational when they express their feeling of being hurt. And emotional exploitation. So narcissists, they exploit the people emotions for personal gain, often using affection or attention as a way to manipulate and control. An example could be a narcissist who showers initially lots of love to their partner and compliments only to later withhold affection as a form of punishment or to exert control. Of course, it creates effects. One of the main effects is a feeling of worthlessness. So continuous belittlement or criticism by a narcissist person leads people to feel unworthy and undeserving. The person's self-esteem, it just gets eroded over time. For example, a narcissist parent might constantly undermine their child's achievement, making the child feel incapable or inferior. Creates confusion and self-doubt. Due to gaslighting and manipulation, people often experience confusion about their reality and doubt their own judgment. This can lead to confusion that then feels mentally exhaustion, and also people may feel unsure about themselves. For example, a person might start believing they are forgetful or overtly emotional because they were told consistently denial or downplay their experiences. Loss of identity. Person may lose their sense of self-needs, desires, or their feeling are overshadowed by the narcissist's demand. Over time, they may feel disconnected from their own true self, unsure of who they are and what they want, and get very stuck in life. For example, a person in a relationship with narcissists might give up their own hobbies. They might give up their friendships or even career ambitions to appease their partner, losing sight of their own identity in the process. So narcissistic abuse is damaging form of emotional abuse characterized by manipulation, behavior such as gaslighting, manipulation, and emotional exploitations. So understanding these aspects is crucial for recognizing and addressing the effects of narcissistic abuse. And also this allows to begin the journey towards healing yourself and reclaiming your self-worth. Now, what are some of the psychological effects of this abuse? Complex traumas. So narcissistic abuse often results in complex trauma, which is because this is due to prolonged and repeated exposure to emotional and psychological manipulation. So unlike a single traumatic event, complex trauma stems from continuous abuse, leading to deep-seated psychological scars. Some of the symptoms are hypervigilance. I mean, people often develop a sense of acute and awareness of their environment, always on lookout for potential threats. So they are very, very hyper aware. For example, a person who has been gaslit repeatedly may become excessively cautious in conversations, constantly questioning their own perceptions and looking at threat in their environment all the time. Emotional dysregulation, this manifests as a difficulty in managing emotions, leading to sudden mood swings, intense emotion reactions, or often numbness. For instance, a person might experience overwhelming sadness or anger in response to sometimes very small triggers because their emotional baseline has been destabilized by the abuse. Trust issues. So people that have had narcissistic abuse frequently struggle to trust others, even new healthy relationships. This is due to their betrayals and manipulation they've experienced, leading them to be wary of suspicion of others' intention, even though it may be a kindness. So a person might find it challenging to accept kindness without questioning underlying motive. So narcissistic abuse leads to complex traumas. And so internal family system, IFS therapy, actually offers a framework for addressing the fractured internal landscape caused by complex traumas by recognizing and then integrating into various parts of the self, which is what we are going to do today as well. So what is the path to recovery? Let's go on to this. So first one is develop self-compassion. So self-compassion involves recognizing that the suffering and the personal inadequacy are part of this shared human experience, and treat yourself with same kindness and care that you offer to others, to a friend. So if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by memories of abuse, instead of criticizing yourself for feeling this way, if you start to acknowledge that this is a natural response to your experience and practice self-soothing techniques, we will do them also in this session today, which acts like a gentle affirmation or helps you to start to regulate yourself. Cultivating curiosity. So approach your healing journey with sense of curiosity about your own trauma. This means that you explore your emotions, you explore the experiences. The only thing is take judgment out of the equation. And we will try and do it also in the session today. So ask yourself a question like, what does it feeling want to tell me? Which is what you're going to do. And how has this part tried to protect me? I will do the same, okay? And this curiosity helps you to uncover and integrate the wounded parts of your psyche. And that understanding starts to create what we call self-energy. Have a support community. It's important that you connect with others who have had similar experiences, because this then helps to validate yourself, your experience, and have a mutual understanding. And for example, this is what we do in the Q&A, is you hear other people's experience and what they have gone through, and it helps by sharing or hearing others' experiences. It creates a perspective and it helps you to build coping strategies. Of course, working with a therapist who understands IFS and complex trauma is good. Okay, a therapist who is, at least from my experience, uses IFS, internal family system, because that has the aspect to help cover different parts, including the abuse. And then have awareness. Okay, knowledge empowers to recognize patterns. Okay, reading books, exploring articles, absolutely helps. Journaling and reflection is a good one. I would encourage to have a practice, and I will send at the end of the session afterwards with 2 prompts, an exercise that I will send to you. A prompt like, so when you do writing, you say, for example, who would you be or I be if I could let go the baggage that I've been carrying? So what would I become? And you do the journaling. Or what would be being unapologetic me? What would it feel like or be like? And this helps to process and gain clarity. So healing from narcissistic abuse involves a multifaceted approach that includes, of course, self-compassion and curiosity, but at the same time, you have to work through the trauma with kindness and compassion. Okay, so let's get into preparing for the IFS session. So the research and my personal experience has shown that when we are dealing with narcissistic situation, there are at least 2 different parts that are present. There's one that rationalizes the situation and other that tries to do his best to protect. And we have at least 2 parts. So the rationalizer is basically a manager, and that steps in to explain the abuse, and it tries to give a logical stint to it, and preventing access to raw emotions. So this part aims to protect you from getting overwhelmed by the pain by intellectualizing your experience. For example, you might find yourself justifying the abuser's actions, thinking, oh, they didn't mean to hurt me, they were just stressed, instead of acknowledging the hurt and the betrayal you feel. So that's one part. And then there's another part, which is the protector, that acts defensively to shield you from re-experiencing the pain of the narcissist abuse. These parts can blend as a therapist for yourself, okay, making it difficult to connect with your true self. For example, and this can happen during therapy or otherwise, you might feel strong urge to avoid discussing certain topics or feel defensive when you're asked to explore painful memories. Now, these protectors are guarding you from your wounded exiles, the part of you that hold trauma. And there's usually a tug of war between these 2. Okay, one that intellectual tries to rationalize abuse, and the one that protects and or resists from revisiting the trauma, and that creates an internal block for you to access, not to be able to access self. You might notice a battle within you when one part is trying to minimize the abuse by thinking it wasn't that bad, while another one fiercely resisting any attempt to go into the painful memory. And so what we are going to do is to bring awareness to the 2 parts. So we'll start first with bringing awareness that there is conflict. Okay, and notice that when you start rationalizing the abuse, gently understand that this is a part of you that is trying to help you from not feeling the pain. So it just does that. And so we have to understand the intellectualizer to say, well, what are you trying to do? And I understand that you're trying to protect, help me save, but what are you trying to protect me from? And then the other one is, of course, the one that prevents to feel the pain. And then bring the 2 into dialogue with each other, so that the one that holds the pain can inform to the part that intellectualizes, saying, this is how I felt, this is how it goes through me, this is what I go through. And so that the one which is intellectualizing starts to dial down and allow to feel, and because there is a self-energy that is being built. I will share my example in the Q&A because I just did it this week, and it was very interesting how this works well. So basically, this is what we are going to do. we are going to have you look at the whatever you bring in as a narcissist behavior that you have gone through, and bring the two parts. That's why I asked you to bring two objects or two stones. Okay. Okay, so what are you going to do is the following. Reflect on the instances of narcissistic abuse that has profoundly affected you, and bring in the feeling or parts within you that you feel intellectualizes or rationalizes abuse. And also think about the feeling or the part that you feel tries to protect you. So bring them both, and I know it's for the moment, it is for the mind, because I would like you to think about it, and then we'll get into it when we get into the part. Okay, so take a moment and think about it, and then we will start in a few minutes. Okay, so see if you can be in a comfortable spot. Have those two objects nearby you. Can be stones or anything. Just two objects, because we are going to use them. And just begin by centering yourself with your breath. So inhale slowly, deeply through your nose, letting your lungs fill completely. And exhale gently through your mouth, releasing any tension or any stress. Another time, breathe in and breathe out. Now let's establish a safe space. So visualize a person, a memory, or a location that brings you sense of serenity, protection, and safety. Can be a person, a memory, or a location, a place that brings you sense of serenity, protection, and wellness. This safe space is your sanctuary, providing comfort, stability whenever you need, either during the session or afterwards as well. So know that you can always go to this place if you feel overwhelmed. With your safe space clearly envisioned, shift your focus to the challenge with the narcissistic situation that you have been dealing with in your life, the one that you bring yourself for this session. As you do that, direct your awareness to a situation where you feel the part of you that rationalizes or intellectualizes it. Notice any physical sensation or image this being in that situation or behavior. So notice any discomfort in your body, tightness, body responses, or an image. Just breathe into that. Now tune into feeling associated with this situation, with this part. Notice how do you feel towards it. And see if you can become curious. So you can explore these sensations in your body or with the image. So from a place of curiosity, invite this part of you that you feel in your body or have the image to be represented by an object or a stone that you can place on your right hand. So it represents the intellectualizer or the rationalizer part. If you hear voices that appear judgmental or overtly rationalizing, you can ask them to step into a waiting room, promising that you will return to them within the session or later, so that they can create a space for you to connect with this part that needs attention. Now connect back to this object or a stone in your right hand. Be curious so you can explore. And ask it, saying, what is your intention for me? What do you want from me? And see what you hear. Just see if you can acknowledge what you hear. Saying, I understand. This is what your intention for me. Now ask it again, saying, okay, then how do you create, what impact are you creating in my life or the world around me? And see what you hear. What impact are you creating in my life? Stay curious. So brought to your awareness how it impacts your life. Just acknowledge if it brings you some form of anger, or just notice that this is a part which is trying to explain why it does what it does. Maybe it's a good time to explore its fears. So just be curious, a little bit compassion if you can, and ask it, I understand you're trying to protect me from something, so what are you afraid would happen to me? What are you trying to protect me from? Explore further. Ask a question, what is your biggest fear from me? And see what you hear. So this is what the intellectualizer is trying to protect you from. So see if you can acknowledge that. I understand this is what you're trying to do. This is how you're trying to protect me. Ask a question, and when did it all start? How old was I when you took on this habit? What was going on then? It'll tell you a number and age. It may even tell you when it started or what was going on then. Ask it, what belief did that younger one, the age when it started, did that younger one self-create from that experience? What belief did the younger one self-create from that experience? Acknowledge and thank this part. And now ask what needs to happen. So you're asking to this object in your right hand. Ask it, what needs to happen for this part to relax or be less present? So it'll tell you some actions for you or some conditions. So what needs to happen for it to relax or even be less present? So it told you actions or condition that will make it less present, and see if it makes sense and just acknowledge it. And ask it if it would be happy to give you its name. Don't judge the name, whatever name comes up is good. Now thank it for what it brought to your awareness, and ask it to step back so you can speak to the other part and let it know that you will come back. And you can put this stone or the object down, and later on you can label it with the name. And now I want you to invite the part of you that acts defensively to shield you from re-experiencing the pain of abuse or suffering from the abuse. Direct your awareness to any physical sensation you feel in your body, around your body, or if you see images. Notice that discomfort, tightness, and just breathe into that area or into the image. And just become curious as you explore the sensation in your body or in the image. Now hold another object or a stone in your left hand and invite the sensation in your body or the image to represent itself in the object in your left hand. Be compassionate, be curious. So I'm just inviting you to be here in this object so I can have a conversation with you. If it is not willing or it's resisting, then you can say, okay, stay wherever you are, but it's easier for me. And you can go back to being in my body afterwards. It's only for the inquiry. I'm inviting you here. Stay curious. If you feel resistance still, ask a question. I'm here only to understand. And we will go to where you will allow to go. If that helps, ask a question to this object in your left hand. What is your intention for me? Ask another question. How do you impact my life? And see what you hear. Notice what you hear. How do you impact my day-to-day life and the world around me? See if you can acknowledge, just notice how you feel towards it. And ask it, maybe you're trying to protect me from something, so what are you afraid would happen to me? What is your biggest fear for me? And notice what you hear. Stay curious and, if possible, compassionate. See if you can acknowledge what it is trying to protect you from. And ask it, since when are you doing this or feeling this way? Or since when are you playing this role? Tell you an age. And what was going on then? And ask, what belief did the younger self create from that experience? And ask a question, what needs to happen for this heart, which you hold in your object, you're asking left hand, what needs to happen for it to be relaxed or be less present or even be absent? See if you can acknowledge that. I think I took note. And ask it if it's willing to name itself, the object in your left hand. What name should I call you with? Don't judge it. Just notice the name that comes up. And now see if you can invite both parts, the object you hold in the left hand, both of your hands, and say, well, what if we can have dialogue with each other? So just stay curious and compassionate and bring in some courage. And now ask the two parts to have a conversation where the intellectualizer, the right hand stone, can express its needs to understand and rationalize. And the left side, left stone, can share its role of keeping you safe from re-experiencing pain. So have them converse with each other. asked to intellectualize her. Over rationalizing, it might be preventing true healing. And help the protector understand that allowing some emotional experiences is part of the healing process. So see if you can guide them both. And take a moment to express to both of them your vision. What you want for you for well-being and healing. Thank them both and let them know that we will continue this dialogue every day for the next few days. Go deeper into this conversation with the two parts. Thank them for their presence today. Acknowledge their roles and affirm to them your commitment to continue with this dialogue. And when that feels settled, just start to come back and be here as we transition into a short sound session. Okay, so we'll go a little bit 5 minutes above. Let's do it. Okay, so sounding, if you're new, just for you to know, we use tuning forks to find any disturbance or any incongruence into your biofield, and using tuning forks, find the place and then work through releasing whatever that you're holding. Okay, and what you do is you sit or lie comfortably. Just remember the vision you just said to the two parts. This is a guidance, and we will use breath in this work. So the breathing works something like you feel in your lungs and you imagine the breath is coming through your top of your head into your chest, into your heart area. And then when you breathe out into your feet. So the idea is to open this channel, which is going from the top of your head through into your feet with your breath, okay? And then we'll use the tuning forks to open. So the way we work is we start below your feet, open the channel to the top of the head, then go to the top of the head and open the channel to the ground, okay? And then use a pendulum to understand what is that area that we'd like to work today based on collective work that is going on. And then we start from the age, from the time of when you're conceived, whatever center it tells me, and going down the ages up to the present moment, including father side or mother side, depends. What we call the river of what you got either from the mother or father, release it through it. Now what you will hear from me is either a sensation or a feeling that comes through, and sometimes combined with an age, okay? So just bring it to your awareness, use the breath to process while you use tuning fork to process. And sometime when it's very overwhelming, you can also use something like and you release. Okay, here we go. So no video, but you will hear me now. Here we go. So just relax, and we start below the feet, and we'll go about 5-10 minutes above time. Okay, so we begin below the feet, as I said, and we open the channel below the feet first. So I'm pointing the tuning fork below your feet, so opens top of your head. Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay, I'm going to ground you. Okay, we go to the top of the head now. And now I'm pointing to the top of the head, opening the channel through your backbone, through your feet. Take a breath. Okay, I'm going to run a pendulum to know which center to work with. So going to the foot, to the shins, to the knees, thighs, root chakra, sacral, no. Okay, solar plexus, okay. Yeah. Left side, I'll come back to that. Okay, heart, no. Third eye, no. Yeah, solar plexus. So left side, the mother side. So solar plexus is your self-esteem, personal power and achievement. So the lack of this is powerlessness, a relationship with mother or mother-like figure. Okay, that's probably where it is coming from. So I'm going to go to the time of conception. We'll start there. So now you will hear a different tuning fork. This one's 44 Hertz. And we'll start from the time of conception and then go into present moment. Here we go. Okay, so just breathe. Okay, here we go. So moment of conception. There's heaviness in the heart, nothing in the head. So it looks like what the mother was feeling. Heaviness. Weight. And it looks like it's not even hers. She got it from somewhere. But then she expressed it into the little being. So take a deep breath. Yeah, send love to the little one that's coming into being. Saying this is not yours, There's not even mothers, the feeling of heaviness. So just send smoothing, loving words to the little one. And take a breath. Okay, so it feels overwhelmed. Do that. That helped. Okay, so about 2 months before being born, so still in mother's womb. So now shifted to the second center, so a lot of fear. Which is about frustration by the mother or in the family. Frustration or disappointment. You do that, release it. Okay, so we are in the present moment now. Oh, sorry, we are in the time of birth. Apologize. So this is when you came into the world, so little one. Okay, so she's very overwhelmed. She. Just see if you can send love to the little one, but also to the mother, the nursing staff, whoever is around, the doctor. Acknowledge everyone's effort for bringing you into this world. And let the little one know she's going to be fine, she's going to be safe. One more breath. Okay, she moved on. So this is a 5-year-old now. And she still holds some kind of fear. She. The little one holds some kind of fear. So send your love. Acknowledge. Let the little one know whatever message you want to send to the little one now of encouragement. If you feel heaviness in your back, just acknowledge it and go back to the little one. And now feels sadness or the weight in the chest is back. So just notice whatever is coming up for you. And you can release it out. Okay, that helped. So it's taking straight to 25-year-old. It says something about loss, feeling hurt or the heaviness of loss or losses. Could be more than one loss. And see if it wants to grieve. Give it a space. Send your love to the 25-year-old. Another one. Just after 27, 28 again. But this time it doesn't feel supported. As if it's very alone and has to deal with everything on its own. Breathe. Okay, so now it's going straight into the mother's zone. So what the mother was carrying that was not even hers, but brought into your field. Everything and anything, her sadness, her pressures, her pain. So see if you can send love to her. Let her know that her healing is her choice and her journey. And you take the power back. But you send her love. There you go. Take a deep breath. Okay, we are going to release everything that came up. From your solar plexus. Take a breath. Okay, so we are going to close it up and let the process continue for next 48 hours. As you safely maneuver through the changes. And surround you with a cocoon of 528 Hertz. As we conclude our session, let's engage into a small meditation to integrate everything that came in. Take a deep breath in and fill yourself with a sense of peace and self-compassion. Acknowledge the parts that have felt pressurized or stagnant, but they came in, the clarity they brought, and the relationship you cultivate with them. Acknowledge they have influenced your life narrative and appreciate their intent to protect you. Appreciate their presence and the protective purposes they served in your life journey. Offer sincere gratitude to these parts for them to openly dialogue and their participation in the session today. Thank them for their resilience. And reaffirm to these parts that your commitment to continue to grow, envision nurturing them towards greater self-realization and balance, guided by the wisdom and compassion of your core self. With a final deep breath, feel empowered by today's work, knowing that you carry forward the seed of transformation. Now let's immerse ourselves into essence by the poem by Derek Walcott and allow these words to guide deep into this meditation and this sense. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the others. Welcome. And stay, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you may have ignored for another, who knows you by heart, takes down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes, peels your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. Thank you for your courage and willingness to explore. And when you feel ready, gently open your eyes, return to the world, and we'll transition into Q&A.